Welcome back to the Fast Break. Friends, it is Monday, June 1st, and the San Antonio Spurs are going back to the NBA Finals for the first time in 12 years after eliminating the OKC Thunder on Saturday night in Game 7, 111 to 103. And I can't lie to you guys, I am pretty jazzed about it right now. I was having so much fun watching that game 7. You would have thought the Celtics were playing in that game. Um, First and foremost, we've had a lot of bad game 7s. This was a good one. This was close almost all the way throughout. Obviously, the Spurs had a couple of, 11, 12-point leads at certain points in the game, but the Thunder kept fighting back. They'd have their runs of their own. Um, you know, Towards the end of the first half, they got it within 4, and then the Spurs went on a 7-0 run, which I thought was a really critical one to go back up by 3 going into halftime. But Spurs get it done, close it out on the road. Tough environment to play, especially in that game 7. They won 2 of them last year, and it's just a great day for basketball fans, NBA fans. It's a great day for the NBA. This is their absolute wet dream of a finals matchup. We got the Knicks and the biggest market in America versus the Alien. So I'm really pleased with it. We get to watch ethical hoops in the finals. We get to watch the guy that's basically going to be the face of the NBA. A lot of us are thinking for the next decade plus, and I mean, I'm just excited to get to game 1 on Wednesday. But Todd, what were your kind of thoughts and emotions from game 7? I know we were both obviously rooted for the Spurs, us and the rest of America, but what were your kind of thoughts on it, and what do you think going forward?
Well, there was a terrorist attack in Oklahoma City on Saturday, and it wasn't by humans; it was by fucking alien. No, honestly, Champagne came through for them in that game, and like you said, it's really just as an NBA fan, a what's the word I'm looking for? Without any rooting interest, I think all of us wanted to see Wemby play more.
Mhm.
Oklahoma City obviously, it has to be mentioned without AJ Mitchell and Jalen Williams going down on the wire with San Antonio.
Mhm.
Definitely feels like they were the best team this year, and San Antonio, just caught a lucky break. Definitely in this era of the NBA, it's a little bit more like the NFL, where you do need some schedule luck, you need some injury luck, you need to have a really fucking good team, and everything just kind of needs to go your way. And so far it's gone everything the Knicks and San Antonio's way. So all-time finals matchup, super excited for it. Um, yeah, I couldn't be happier. Super proud of Wemby.
Yeah, I mean, not only do you have to have a great team, like you said, you got to have that luck as well too. The Knicks got it with scheduling and injuries as well too. Obviously, Embiid was out for the Sixers, and they were a little bit banged up as well too. And um, the Spurs got to play a Minnesota team that was banged up as well. Obviously, I Ant was 60, 70, maybe 80% of what he usually is. Io was a little bit banged up. DiVincenzo. So, there's injury luck there. Obviously, J-Dub didn't play in game 7. AJ Mitchell was out for I think the entire series. So, you gotta put yourself in the position to benefit from the luck, which both these teams did by being great and at having their respective seeds, and then just getting a little bit lucky with the injury luck. I do think that the Thunder probably still win that series if J-Dub is healthy, because, I mean, let's look at his playoff run last year. He was phenomenal, especially in the finals, and, uh he would have made a big difference. I mean, they needed a second shot creator, and they definitely didn't get it from Chet. Old Mr. Oxtail and collard greens himself. Chet, absolutely shrunk in the biggest moment this year. and had a really bad game 7. He had 4 points. He was 1 for 2. He looked like a little boy out there compared to Wemby, and he was scared. Like, there's a lot of guys like, "Oh, maybe it wasn't in the flow of the game." No, he was absolutely 100% scared. He wasn't even catching the ball cleanly on passes. That's how I could tell that, like, "Oh, man, this guy just really is not ready for the moment right now." Would not go at Wemby at all. I mean, even when he had and then they were just basically, like, not guarding him, and when they would put, smaller defenders on him because they knew he wasn't gonna shoot, and he had wide open threes that he was passing up, and, I mean, this is a guy that he's an all NBA player. Like, I sung his praises all year. I was vouching for him against you for all NBA teams, and I got cake on my face right now, or I got egg on my face right now because that was bad. And, for a guy that's had a ton of success in his career and is a great defensive player and won a championship and played good throughout the entire championship run last year, this is bad. This is really bad. And he's gonna have to deal with Wemby, who not only is better than him in every way, but he has to go through him to get to the finals every year, and he's younger than him. Or maybe I think he's younger than him. So this is going to be an issue for his career if he does not grow, learn, and have this motivate him. If he shrinks from this and this like ruins his career, which this is really early and hyperbolic to say, but this could be really bad. And it was a bad entire series for Chet. And it all culminated in this game 7 where he was just terrible. He was getting the ball after kind of fumbling it, doing one move that he probably didn't want to be doing anyway, and then was getting rid of the ball because he didn't want it. He was scared. He was scared. And that to get back to my point, OKC needed that second ball handler or shot creator or just form of offense. And the only place they were getting it really was from Kason Wallace, if it wasn't Shea. And let's, before we crown and talk too good about San Antonio, we've talked a lot of shit about Shea in this playoffs. He was phenomenal. He was unbelievable in game 7. I think he made almost every shot. It seemed like it. And everything was just wet too. He was barely hitting the rim. So shout out to Shea. I thought he was great. This is certainly not on him, even though he did have a couple of bad games in this series. Um, I think he was just phenomenal, and none of this blame or anything deserves to be on him. But I guess let's talk there. Do you think that they need to make any adjustments based on what you saw in game 7, or should they run this back?
I think I would just I would run the team back and look at it maybe at the trade deadline next year. Um, I think if they could steal Trey Murphy from New Orleans, that's something that maybe they could be interested in. I'm not sure if Michael Porter Jr. necessarily fits personality wise or timeline wise with what they're looking to do, but that would be something that I'd look to maybe add another shooter, but I don't know if I'd be so quick to move off Chad or Jalen Williams to try to pursue Giannis or something like that. I think, you know, it's pretty clear that Chet is more of a sure, like a star in his role, but a little bit more like Derek White, a role player, not somebody that you necessarily do really want to be paying that max contract to. In situations like this where Jalen Williams goes down, and your other creator goes down, your kind of 6-man type off the bench, and Chet just he didn't have any go-to moves offensively. Now, whether or not that had to do with Wemby, I'm not exactly sure. I have not seen his offensive game develop the way that I thought that it would have. Um, and what's weird is in this San Antonio series, I mean, as the series went along, he just stopped shooting threes. And I'm not entirely sure why that is. Um, he's 36% shooter this season from 3, big part of his game. Obviously, the biggest reason why he's a max player is his ability to defend the rim, but also the ability to stretch the defense when he's playing offense on the other end. it's what makes guys like him and Porzingis and Wemby so valuable is their ability on both ends of the floor to really impact the game. Whether or not he's putting up scoring numbers or not, he's impacting the game by giving Shea space in the lane. If you don't have to respect his 3-point shot because you don't think he's going to shoot it, then, it really it gives SGA even less space with Wemby on the floor. They really needed Chet to be, dialed in, and even if he wasn't hitting those at the same clip, shooting them, keeping Wemby honest and out of that lane. Um, Man, really disappointing series from him. Can't say I'm surprised. I have had him labeled as a not one of my guys for a while. Now, defensively, the impact is hard to ignore. But I don't think he was somebody that I would have been willing to give a max contract to. And and then the Jalen Williams thing is really weird too. I mean, he's dealing with a hamstring basically like all season long. Not sure what's up with that. Really need him to get right in the offseason because I mean, their offense got really exposed without him on the floor. The further into the San Antonio series it went. No, obviously, San Antonio is probably the best defense that they're going to face throughout the league. So that could also explain it. SGA, I think you're right. He really showed me something. I thought game 7, especially after a lackluster game 6 performance, really came out, did what he needed to do. The others didn't come along for the ride with him, and it's a shame. I thought he did have an all-time performance and something that started made me think like, okay, maybe this guy is up there with Kobe and Michael. No, I still don't think he's quite there yet, but that performance showed me like, okay, like he is doing something here. Um, and his style of play might remind people of James Harden with a little bit less of the threes, but hell of a lot more clutch than James Harden, especially in the springtime late in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you compare it to James Harden, like, I mean, I think SGA is either 1 or 2 with Brunson as far as, like, closing out games. I mean, he's a killer. So, completely of a different ilk in that regard. And, yeah, not on him. I mean, it's tough for him legacy-wise. He didn't have his number 2. He didn't have his arguably number 3, and kinda didn't have his number 4 if you wanna put Chet in there and um, say that he didn't show up either. So that it's just tough for him, but he had a lot on the line legacy wise. And even though he played fantastic, he won't get to do that second straight championship, second straight finals MVP that would have kind of catapulted him into a lot of different conversations. But you know what? He's going to have a chance for a while because Thunder is still going to be good. And I agree with you. I don't think you do anything crazy. You can make some fringe moves. Um, Now, if you really were scared about the Chet piece and you wanted to go get Giannis, I think you could get him for and not mess up too much of your, uh, I guess, starting rotation. Like you could get him for Chet, a couple younger guys and picks as well too. If you wanted to go that route, we're not going to go into crazy hypothetical trades right now, but you could get him for not messing up with or not messing with some of your other star players as well there too. Um, I was just disappointed because obviously, like Wemby with his foul situation in this game 7, he was at 4 fouls, I think, to start the 4th or just a little bit into the 4th. And then he got his 5th foul, so 1 foul away from fouling out with 7 minutes left. And it's like, if that was the chance to go at him, especially with Chet and to get him to foul out. And I mean, if Wemby fouls out with 7 minutes left in that game, we could be talking about a completely different outcome right now because that's a lot of time to be without your best player. But it did set us up for one of the best moments of the entire series when he did get subbed out for 1 minute. Luke Cornett had the chase down block that I mean, was like LeBron-esque as far as like impact and play-wise. I mean, it was shout out to Luke Cornett. I mean, he's had a couple of historical blocks this season. We had the block in game 7, the Western Conference Finals. And then we had the blocking of Magic City night in Atlanta earlier this year. Just a couple of league altering blocks this year. So shout out to Luke Cornett. He played great. I'm happy for him as well too. You know, because he's a former Celtic, so I'm proud of him. And then it was just a great team win for these guys. 6 of the 8 top players were, this is like their first postseason run. They all think I think all 5 starters were in double figures for the Spurs in game 7 as well too. It wasn't Wemby putting on the Superman cape. It was a little bit from everybody in the Spurs organization. And that's a shout out to the head coach Mitch Johnson. Shout out to Seattle. Seattle was in the building on game 7. I loved it. Easy team to root for. And now Wemby's in his first finals. I love it. So sorry to OKC. They're going to be right back there next year. I'm not going to be, I mean, if you had to ask anybody, I think we all think Western Conference Finals 2027 is probably going to be OKC versus San Antonio again. So, you can't dwell over it too much. But I'm excited. I'm excited for the Spurs going forward, and it's really unprecedented. This is kind of the first time in a really, really long time that you're looking at a team that hasn't had to go through their lumps. This is Wemby's first time in the playoffs. Like I said, 6 out of their 8 top players, first time in the playoffs. Like, they haven't had to deal with failure yet. Uh, you know, Jason Tatum, when he got his first title, was like year 7. Shea was in year 7, I think, as well too, when he won his first title. Like, it takes guys years to get over the hump. LeBron had been beaten in the playoffs like 6 times, 7 times, 8 times before he finally got it done in Miami. I mean, it usually takes trials and tribulations, but Wemby rises above, and these guys just stepped up. I mean, Dylan Harper, Stephen Castle, Champagne, like you said, like, these role players had no fear of the moment, and that's why I don't think they're going to have any fear in the NBA Finals as well too. And they should be the favorites. They are, and I think that's well deserved for them. And one crazy stat. Look at this: Duncan's first championship. You know who we went through? Blazers, Wolves, faced a big man rival in the conference finals, and then beat the Knicks in the finals. And Wemby's going to have the opportunity to do the same thing here. So we got a lot of legacy on the line right now.
I
I'm going to
mean
pass it over
I
to you
mean,
because I got
yeah,
water rushing over me.
Oklahoma City and the Spurs, yeah, they're both set up to basically meet in the conference finals every year for the next 10 years. But LA did just get Miles Garrett. So, we got to calm down with that. You never know. The LA might come in and steal the show next year. I don't know if we're going to have a repeat champ with Miles Garrett in LA. Um,
Yeah, that pissed me off so much earlier today. God, like, I mean, at least they had to get rid of Jared Verse, or they had to give back Jared Verse and some picks, but, like, man, Miles Garrett is just a monster. And now we've got Charles Cross and Abe Lucas are gonna have to deal with that twice a year. He's just unbelievable. And
hey,
yeah,
well,
that was really annoying.
just get excited for 2 years from now when the Bills trade them Josh Allen. Matthew Stafford's retired, and you got to deal with that. No,
I
but
hate
I
the
think I think San Antonio, when you look at the game, Champagne is the biggest difference maker for them. Making 6 3-pointers. Oklahoma City just didn't have anybody along for the ride like that. I felt like Jalen Williams and Jared McCain played all right. They really needed Kason Wallace or Kason. Felt like late in the game he was still playing hard. He was still trying to keep a minute, but didn't get enough from Lute Dort, didn't get enough from Caruso, and then obviously Holmgren. Those are the 3 killers for them. Depended on them a lot. It felt like Oklahoma City, because of having Jalen back and forth, they just didn't really know what their best 5 was, for the end of the year, what they needed to be able to have somebody come through for them in a big spot that wasn't Shea. So, really happy for
We
the
talked
Spurs.
about
It
that
did feel
earlier.
like Jamal Crawford, yeah, I mean, not to call him out. I don't think he was favoring the Spurs, but looking back on it in hindsight, I can kind of see him being a little conditioned to favor the Spurs a little bit, just being from Rainier Beach, working with Wemby, you know, having a relationship with Coach Popovich. I think, you know, that comment when you had said it earlier, he said, you know, Seattle's in the building right now, talking about Coach Johnson on the Spurs. You know, may have also been giving himself a little homage there, just being from Seattle and giving Oklahoma City the big fuck you. So that was cool to see. Really glad that we're not getting another repeat champ. And yeah, not a weird era, what a great era. I can remember being a kid and looking back at the 70s and just thinking, man, that's so crazy. Like, look, the way that the decade played out and all the different teams that came and rised, and Kareem not getting to a finals for, you know, almost 10 years, and just by the end of it, you have the Bullets and the Sonics each winning 40 something games and then going to back finals and splitting them. Just weirdness. That's kind of like Indiana going to the finals last year. So, yeah, I'm so excited for this matchup with the Knicks. I think San Antonio is going to win in 5, but the games are all going to be very close.
I'm San Antonio in 6, maybe 7. I said it on the last pod, I really do think that the Knicks have a real shot at this because I think you got a guy like Jalen Brunson that is not gonna be scared, and he's gonna be able to get his, and he's not gonna and I don't see any of these guys necessarily shrinking in the moment like necessarily a Chet would. I can see Cat probably having a couple of really bad games, but you've already factored that in with Cat. Like we know that's gonna happen. Like Big Cat's gonna miss some time. Bodega Cat will have a couple of off days, but that's all right because you got Ananobi and Sham. See it could get weird here if you have the Shamits and like the other role players, Bridges. If they start bricking threes and going ice cold, then it could be really a wrap and be over in 5. But I think they have a lot of confidence, and I think they got that MFer in them too, and they're not going to be scared. So I just think they're going to, and MSG, they've been so good at MSG. So I, uh, I just think the Knicks are going to be tough to play, and they do have more experience. And obviously, it hasn't mattered a ton as far as losing series, but we saw it with some of these more veteran teams that they will give up one or two going throughout the playoffs. So I uh, I think the Knicks will give them a run. I think the Knicks will give them a run, and I wouldn't be completely shocked if the Knicks did end up getting it done because I think they have the defensive personnel and they're healthy, man. They're healthy, like except for Mitchell Robinson's finger, which, look, you don't want him really shooting anyway. Just play defense. He doesn't need to have a healthy finger to just, palm his fist at the ball. So I think he'll do a decent defensive job against Wemby if anybody can actually do that. They got the wings to go at him. They got the backcourt. They got the front court as well too. So I think the Knicks are a very complete team, and they're going to be weird to play as well. And they're going to give the Knicks tough matchup issues, or they're going to give, San Antonio weird matchup issues as well, just like Wemby can kind of do to everybody else. So, um, I think the Knicks have a real chance. So I'm gonna hope and pray that it's a long series, but I still do think the Knicks, or gosh, I still do think that the Spurs eventually get it done in the NBA Finals. So, but I think it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be entertaining.
If Towns can make like 3 or 4 threes a game, that's gonna extend the series. Like I said, I think that was a big reason why Oklahoma City didn't actually end up winning over San Antonio, was just the fact that Chet couldn't couldn't extend their offense out. I think Towns being able to hit 3 or 4 a game, it's going to be, and obviously taking at that point, probably 8 or 9, you that's going to impact, the spacing on the floor for San Antonio's defense. And um, I think that could lead to the series going to 6 or 7. I don't know. The MSG thing is weird because I've always felt like, man, road teams play really well there. I think the Spurs will be really excited about playing there. But you're right, the Knicks have been on a roll there. Um, I don't know. I just don't feel like the Knicks have played anything close to San Antonio, and I also do think there's something to be said for, look, the Knicks have had a lot of time off. I mean, whatever heat streak or hot streak or whatever people think that they're on, I mean, that's basically over, and now it's just a whole new thing. Um, One series going up against probably the best player in the world right now. In real time, we're seeing this guy just get better and better and better. I think, he's proven some of the minutes stuff. And I think, we saw it again happen in real time where it felt like game 1 was catching up to him in game 3. And then in game 5 had one of the worst games that he's played all playoffs. To then come back in game 6 and game 7 and really play well. I think just demonstrates that, look, he's getting better. He's growing. This is going to be the Knicks' only shot. So if they're going to make it happen, this is it right here. As you're playing a team that is way ahead of schedule, the East fucking opened way up to you. And I'll say this, honestly, if the Knicks win the championship, it will not. I'm rooting for the Spurs openly, but I won't be that disappointed if the Knicks win. Put it this way, I was more disappointed last year when Indiana lost Game 7 to Oklahoma City than I would be if the Knicks pulled it out.
Do you think that, this being really the Knicks' chance, I mean, they've got a window where they're gonna be very good, but obviously this is the worst Spurs team that we're gonna see for the next 6 years. Uh,
And the East
and
aligned.
Yeah, right. That's what I mean. Like we've talked about that. Like their road was paved pretty nicely for them. Um, so do you think it having more pressure on New York or having that expectation like we gotta fucking get it done this year? Do you think that helps them to be a little bit more desperate against this Spurs team who, hey, I mean, they have desperation. We saw how they played against OKC. We saw how much it means to them. We saw them diving on the ground for the loose balls and everything. I mean, we can see the hunger and desperation with them as well too. But it's not going to be the same that the Knicks have because there is a little bit in the back of their mind of like, I mean, the Spurs expect to be back here for the next, 3 to 4 to 5 years in this window that they have. So do you think that affects New York in a positive or a negative way?
I'm not in the city, so I couldn't tell you, but my guess is that they're already being treated like they've won the championship.
Right.
I
Okay.
think that a lot of those players are probably getting like, they walk in, people just start clapping, cheering. "Oh, we love you. You're a
Mhm.
legend." Like, and they're going to be legends forever. They made it to the finals, just like those 99 and the 94 teams are. But I don't know. I mean, I guess again, we'll just have to see. I just think that the athleticism of San Antonio is concerning. Like, if San Antonio plays their best, it's a wrap. Like,
Right.
they're just better. They have a higher ceiling, I think. I've seen them do it against better competition
Mhm.
versus, I mean, think about the teams that they went through. Portland, Minnesota, and then Oklahoma City, and beat all of them.
Defensive monsters, each one of
Impressive.
them.
Impressive.
Yeah.
So, I think that definitely plays a factor when I'm thinking about where this series is gonna go. The Knicks, everything would have to go right, and I still think that they probably have to win it in 6 games. Watch out though, if they win it in the city, that is a riot trap.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Grease the light poles. They will be going that place will be unwalkable for a week or the most walkable it's ever been for a week. after the Knicks win, that city would go insane. They're already going nuts. I mean, MSG, every time they win outside is a war zone in a good way, kinda.
Is Wesley or nah, never mind.
World by Wes?
Well, no, I was just gonna ask if Wemby was Muslim, but we won't get into that.
Um, I don't know. I don't know. Not sure about that one, but
Mom Donnie.
Jalen
So
Brun Jalen Mamdani. We love Mamdani. Uh, but I know that Jalen Brunson will be considered God if he wins. He already is in that city, but I mean, he'll be at basically like walking into places like getting standing ovations, people like crying, being like, "You changed my life" type status, like David Ortiz in Boston, like to break these long, long playoff droughts.
Luigi Mangione.
Yeah, exactly. And he won't have to be on the run.
Jalen Brunson
Uh,
probably could shoot someone on Fifth Ave and probably be okay,
yeah,
depending on who it was.
be like, he had a gun. The other guy had a gun. The other guy was Steph Castle. Um, yeah.
The other guy was an alien. Does that even count?
Yeah. Do do aliens have rights?
You're right. Yeah.
Not to be political. Uh, and we're talking about
And he's
aliens from
from
outer
Texas,
space.
crossing the border in
Don't
Texas.
don't clip this. We're talking about aliens from outer space. Yeah, San Antonio. And it's from San Antonio. You're like, "No, no, 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 no. It's an alien from outer
No,
space."
he's a
But you said it was
He's
from San Antonio.
he's from
Yeah,
France. He's from
he's from
France. One of the good
he's
ones.
yeah, yeah. They gave us the Statue of Liberty. It's in New York. That we're friends. We're allies. We're all allies. No, this is an ally positive podcast, Todd. Okay.
Oh no,
Um,
I'm there with you.
I know we are. BLM. But
Hey,
so
during these
okay,
hard times, we have to use comedy to get through it, man. Otherwise, we're
we
just
really,
sad.
that's really
And
true.
the
That's
NBA.
really true. I will say the NBA that series took my mind off of a lot of outside stuff. It was such good basketball. I mean, that was a high level series that we haven't seen in like a long time. I'm trying to think like, is that the highest level play in a series that we've had since like 2018? Like Warriors Rockets?
I mean, I don't know. There's been some really good that Bucks Celtics 2022,
Yeah.
Warriors Celtics 2022.
No, 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 like conference finals. But
Okay.
I
Well
understand what you
then
mean.
yeah, the conference semis, that was Philly or that was Milwaukee and Philly, both of those series.
Yeah.
Um at least in the West, I would say yes. I would say yes
I'm
in the West.
I'm excited for I mean, the ratings for the Western Conference Finals were phenomenal. And for this finals, it is gonna be I mean, I expect it to be, 2026, 2016, and then back to Jordan Bulls ratings for finals. So like I started the pod off with, this is the dream for the NBA. Um, I'm excited. Everybody's gonna be talking about it. It's a great time to be an NBA fan. And really, Wemby has done just great things for the sport. And as far as like competition and rivalries, like this OKC Thunder rivalry is going to feed families. Like it is going to promote the NBA in a way that, we really haven't had since Steph LeBron. So it's just a great way to be back. And now the Knicks are good as well too, which is obviously fantastic for the league. They've been so out of the limelight for the better part of a quarter century. So it's just, Boston's good. LA is going to be good. You got Luca. So like the markets are marketing right now. And Chicago, top 4 pick. Do you wanna talk about the draft at all as well too? I mean, they're gonna get hopefully a star, and Chicago should be on the path back to being competitive. So if you had them as well too, that's so there's a lot of just great things happening with the NBA, and after a year where there was so many bad storylines about tanking and, sitting and people not trying and all this bad shit. It's just nice to get back to the playoffs, have a series like this, have an awesome finals matchup, and just enjoy basketball again.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Excited to watch the alien play at the Mecca. I'm excited to watch Carl Anthony Towns make a fool of himself in front of tens and tens of millions of people. I'm excited for Jalen Brunson's tiny tails flopping all over the place. And I'm excited for I think that Stephon Castle's gonna try and cause an issue with Josh Hart at some point during the series. I'm not exactly sure when or how, but I'm pretty sure that's gonna happen.
I loved I didn't like the Caruso foul, obviously kind of dirty. Caruso also bad PR week. Um, But when he pulled down Castle and Castle was about to get up and Harper kinda, like, slid in behind him like a bobsled team and held him down and so he wouldn't fight it. I mean, teammate of the year right there because, I mean, if Castle gets, like, a tech and ejected and kicked out and that game, like, turns up on its head, if something happened right there, that could've been really bad. So,
Caruso
props
tried
to
dunking on Wemby, but I felt like he hurt his wrist and it kind of fucked up his jump shot a lot of the rest of the game, which was kind of
Mhm.
a bummer for Oklahoma City, but that definitely would have been
Yeah.
a nasty dunk.
Caruso really went from, like, the bald white guy that everybody liked to, F this guy, like telling LeBron, like, go win a real ring. And now he's part of this Thunder team that nobody likes. Also, yeah, talk about like media and stuff like that. Now we have a villain in the NBA.
The Lakers, that was a joke. He was definitely being like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like sarcastic.
Well, so on the podium when he was like, "Now I got a real one," that one was a joke, but in the in game when they were playing the Lakers and he said, "Go win a real ring," and LeBron, like, didn't take it well, I don't know. I don't know. I but like I
I
said
didn't see that. I don't know. I mean, LeBron has won that would just be a stupid thing to say. It's like, dude, I have won
Yeah,
3 outside of the bubble, so, like, I don't know what that
yeah,
even means,
yeah,
but
right, like, "Hey, man, I won more arguably the most impressive, uh, finals ever." So, um, but yeah, no, his kinda, like, villain arc along with the rest of the team is also good. I mean, there was a lot of hate the last few weeks around this Thunder team, um, and I think a lot of people are really happy to I mean, I loathe the Oklahoma City Thunder. I am a Sonics fan like, first. That was my first love. I hate the Oklahoma City Thunder. This was the most satisfying hate watch I think I've ever had in my life. To watch them get eliminated and punked out and dominated in this series was fantastic. I mean, I haven't gone to Starbucks since I've been, like, an adult and my mom hasn't bought me Starbucks for me, so basically, like, 18 years old to now. The last 11 years, I have not gone to Starbucks or drank anything from them because they were part of the Sonics moving to Oklahoma City. I hate this team, and I am so glad they lost, and I'm so excited to watch ethical, good basketball in the NBA finals, and I know that's kind of ironic because Jalen Brunson flops as well too, but guess what? It just doesn't bug me the same way Shea does it. I'm just happy.
yeah, and if the Knicks win the title and then they rip 60 wins next year and make it to the conference finals, people will hate Jalen Brunson and the Knicks as well, so
I mean, it's not like I love the Knicks. Like, I'm not a giant fan, and their fans are gonna be insufferable if they get a lead in this series, and especially if they win it. So this is short-lived, but it's gonna be an entertaining series, and I'm pleased with where we're at right now, and everybody listening should too. So, what you all should do is make sure to tune in for game 1 on Wednesday, and make sure to tune in for us on Thursday when we, go over what happens in game 1.
I'm just
Todd, any
happy we're
last
getting
thoughts here?
Yeah, no, I'm just happy we're getting 2 more San Antonio home games filled with tits. That's what I gotta say.
Give me the OF tits, give me the nuns. We love it. We love both sides of the spectrum.
Yep. Good job by you, bud.
Good job by you.
Love you guys.